Hello everyone. From today onwards, we are beginning the study of literary theory. You will be curious to know what is literary theory? What are its contents? Why should you study this area? We are trying to answer these questions in a simple manner. So welcome to What is Literary Theory? An introduction. Let us address the first question. What is literary theory? Literary theory is the organized, systematic analysis of literary texts. So, it is an organized study, a systematic study, analysis of literary texts, literature. It is not limited to the study of literary texts alone when we use the term cultural theory. Cultural theory moves beyond literary texts and studies art forms, films, comic books, sports, fashion, in short, all cultural practices. Hope you understood that. Literary theory is an organized study of literary texts. However, when we use the term cultural theory, the study is not limited to literary texts. Instead, the area of study is expanded to various art and cultural forms. For example, films, paintings, comic books, sports, fashion, etc. etc. Anything and everything which comes under cultural practices. Literature is only one of the above mentioned cultural practices. So literature is only one among them. While literary theory analyzes only literary texts, cultural theory studies all cultural practices. Contemporary literary theory and cultural theory have acquired much importance these days. So hope you got an idea about what is literary theory, or when it is expanded, cultural theory. Now, what are its contents? Theory consists of various schools of thought like structuralism, deconstruction, psychoanalytic criticism, feminism, post-colonialism, eco-criticism, etc. So when we say literary theory, it consists of various schools of thought like structuralism, deconstruction, psychoanalytic criticism, feminism, post-colonialism, eco-criticism, etc., etc. So in literary theory, we will study the basics of all these theories. See this diagram. Gender criticism, post-colonial criticism, reader response theory, new criticism, cultural studies, post-structuralism, Marxism. So like this, all these several theories are brought together under a single umbrella term, literary theory. what are the purposes of these theories? Why should we study it? These theories try to understand how meanings are produced by various cultural practices like literature, film, fashion, sports, architecture, etc. Have you noticed? They try to understand, they try to study how meanings are produced by various cultural practices that we have mentioned earlier, like film, literature, fashion, sports, architecture, etc. How meanings are produced. All these cultural practices are trying to produce meaning, right? Literature is trying to produce meaning. Film is trying to produce meaning. Fashion also means something, right? Sports, architecture. So in literary theory, we are trying to examine how meanings are produced. It tries to study various methods of interpretation, the historical, psychological, and political consequences of literary and cultural representations. So, various methods of interpretation are studied. The historical significances, the psychological significances, or the political consequences of literary and cultural interpretations. So we must agree that literature, film, fashion, sports, architecture, all these have historical, psychological, and political significances and consequences. Now, as far as you are concerned, why should you study this area? You may ask yourself, why we are studying all these things? What is the benefit? What you can do with these theories? Theory gives you a better, sharper way of looking at cultural practice. It helps to reveal how one idea is given supremacy over another in a cultural practice. See, there exist several ideas, several philosophies, several area of cultural practices. Theory will reveal how one idea or one philosophy or one area of cultural practice is given supremacy over another cultural practice. You will explain more when I continue. For example, the European texts try to give importance to European culture and consider the other cultures as inferior to them, especially African Asian cultures. It is obvious, right? We always give more importance to us. European texts try to give importance to European culture only. The white people say that they are superior to others, especially black people. Among these theories, post-colonial theory tries to uncover means expose or reveal this conspiracy. So what is the purpose of post-colonial theory? Post-colonial theory is trying to expose this conspiracy. This conspiracy means considering West as superior to East, considering white as superior to black, considering Western countries as superior to Eastern countries, such conspiracy. All these things are exposed by means of post-colonial theory, post-colonial approach. Similarly, what is the purpose of feminism? You may have several preconceived notions about feminism. Feminism tries to reveal, tries to expose male supremacy in our culture and provide a platform for women's expression. So just like the supremacy of the West, supremacy of the whites, supremacy of the Europeans, there is a supremacy, male supremacy that exists in our culture. Feminism tries to reveal this male supremacy in our culture and provide a platform for women's expression. Then psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysis tries to uncover the unconscious motives in a text. Unconscious motives in a text will be having an outer meaning and an inner meaning. This inner meaning can be said to be the unconscious motives, something that is hidden within the text. Psychoanalysis tries to uncover these motives. Thus, various theories watch, monitor, and question every attempt to impose power over an idea, race, gender, meaning, etc. So, in total, these various theories are trying to question, trying to interrogate every attempt to impose power over an idea, race, gender, meaning, etc. So we have answered the three questions we have raised. Some additional information: the approach of theory, how theory approaches various topics. Theory has its roots in various disciplines, various subjects, various topics, like anthropology, study of human race, philosophy, traditional literary criticism, psychology, etc. So theory originated from all these. So theory is complex and is written in a complicated language. Theory is often regarded as a very difficult subject by people. The reason is that they originated from topics which are complicated or complex. That is why it is written in a complicated language. Theory approaches every text with a doubt about what it tries to say. So theory is doubtful of everything. See, that is the feature of philosophy. Philosophy makes us skeptic, doubtful. So theory is also like that. Theory approaches every text, everything, with a doubt about what it is trying to say. For example, a film is trying to say a particular message. When theory approaches that filmic text, theory is trying to question whether the claim is true or not. And if it is not true, theory will expose that. So that is the theory's approach. It considers every cultural practice as a text. So after studying theory, from hereafter, we will be referring everything as a text. Text means something that by text we mean anything that will create meaning. Anything that is capable of creating meaning is called text. So it considers every cultural practice as a text. So forget about the meaning of text. uh, like we used in textbook. No, everything capable of producing a meaning is a text, even if it is a poster on a wall, even if it is a political uh, brochure, or anything is a text, a film, an artwork, and reads it closely, very closely, to uncover the anti-elements from within the text. See, as we have already said, every text proclaim that it is trying to do something. Literary or cultural theory will be reading the text very closely and tries to find out whether the claims are correct or not. If the claims are not correct, if there is any anti-claim within that text, theory will expose that. The word theory comes from the Greek word theoria, which means to look at, consider, contemplate, etc. Thus, theory is a way of seeing, a way of looking very closely at the texts. So these are the basic information I would like to convey about the theory. Thank you.